It all begins from the moment of birth. In many cultures, boys are more likely to be appreciated by parents, especially in more conservative families. In many families, especially those with conservative values, boys are often favored over girls because they are deemed more valuable, associated with strength and economic prosperity. In economically less developed countries, girls are more likely to be abandoned or mistreated. And this is not the past. It is happening today. This is the reason why, in China today, for example, the gender of the babies is kept secret until they are born. One huge problem in our world: gender inequality. But what exactly is gender inequality? According to the Oxford Reference, it is a social process by which people are treated differently and disadvantageously under similar circumstances on the basis of sex. Women often face gender discrimination in education, child marriage, pregnancy, sexual violence, and unrecognized domestic work. It follows them throughout their entire life. Girls typically receive less support to pursue their studies, and in low-income countries, many girls are forced to drop out of school because families favor boys and see greater earnings in them. Regarding work application, women again are less likely to be employed because of parental need and the prejudice that men are more hardworking. Furthermore, there is a wage gap between men and women. Women earn 16% less than men, so for every dollar a man earns, a woman earns only 84 cents. This again forms an unending devil's circle. Women receive less money in a job, or they don't get a good job, so they are seen as not qualified or not capable to do this job, which again forms the prejudice that women aren't as hardworking as men or as good as men, and so this again leads to them not being accepted for jobs and receive less money. Therefore, the United Nations established the 17 Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, referred to as the SDGs. With them, they want to tackle different problems and provide a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity by 2030, with Goal 5 specifically targeting gender equality and empowering all women and girls. In 2016, gender equality and women's empowerment improved a lot. Women's participation in parliament increased by 6%, and the number of women speakers of national parliaments increased from 43 to 49%. The proportion of women who reported that they were married before their 18th birthday decreased from 32% to 26%. There were further improvements regarding access to education, sexual and reproductive health, and reproductive rights, and globally, there are fewer maternal deaths. They have already made huge progress towards achieving the goals, with none of the 18 indicators met or almost met, 23% of the goals far or very far on track, 62% at a moderate distance, and 15% on track. Estimations show that it will take up to 286 years to close gaps in legal protection and remove discriminatory laws, 140 years for women to be represented equally in positions of power and leadership in the workplace, and 47 years to achieve equal representation in national parliaments. Well, at least they're pretty open about it. Imagine not being able to make your own decisions regarding sexual health and reproduction, not having the right to own a phone, being forced to marry someone in childhood, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, this is the life many women have to experience on a daily basis. Now come the statistics. Be ready. Did you know that 1 in 5 young women worldwide were married in childhood in 2022? In 2022, In 119 countries, 55% of the countries lacked laws that prohibit direct and indirect discrimination against women. A quarter of countries did not grant women equal rights with men to enter into marriage and initiate divorce. From 2007 to 2022, only 56 of married or in union women aged 15 to 49 made their own decisions regarding sexual and reproductive health and rights. Women were about 12% less likely to own mobile phones than men. Nonetheless, we have to take into account that gender inequality has already existed in history and that we are already making huge progress. In the past, women did not have the right to education, employment, and political participation due to their gender. In the United States, women received the right to work in the mid-1800s and the right to vote in 1920. Later, in 1970, the Equal Pay Act ensured women the right to the same contractual pay and benefits as men in the same employment. In some countries, women still are not allowed to drive, own property, or even leave their home without male supervision. By achieving gender equality, not only the rights of women are guaranteed, but statistics reveal that it will not only help achieving Goal 4, quality education, but also Goal 1, reducing poverty. Women and girls represent half of the world's population and therefore also half of its potential. Let's all work towards making our world a better place. The fight for gender equality continues.